Well, hi there, my horror peeps. This is AJ Horror here to give you a movie review of sorts. Um, so I'm going to do something a little differently than I usually do. I usually just do like one movie, go through the cast, give my impressions of it. But this time I feel like I'm kind of going to wing it. Um, but I'm going to talk about my found footage favorites. Um, so I'm just going to kind of go from maybe worst to best in my opinion. Um, let's start out with Grave Encounters, um, which is basically about this crew of like ghost hunters that go into this like abandoned, I think it's abandoned hospital or abandoned prison. I forget. It's been a minute since I've seen it, but I I mean I thought it was a decent um, found footage horror flick, but not great. And then there's a second one. But if you like the kind of like long, drawn out found footage style, that's right up your alley. Then next is okay. So I might get some hate for this, but this is just opinions. Like I'm not trying to talk crap about any of these films. Just my feeling on it. The VHS anthology films. I think they're anthologies. I couldn't get into those for whatever reason. Um, I will say there's a couple of the short films, whatever you want to, the anthologies, that actually pretty creep me out. There's one where these guys are like partying in this hotel, and they find this chick at the bar, and she's just kind of weird. She's like really quiet, and then she's like, "I like you, I like you," and then she ends up coming to the hotel with him, and then she like I can't remember, she bites him, and then like she just like turns into this creature. I'm like, wow, that was disturbing. I don't know why that hit me so hard, but out of the VHS ones, that probably messed me up. And then I want to say it's the second to newest VHS anthology, where there's a rat man in the sewer. That I thought that was pretty creepy, and they connected it to all the other anthologies pretty much. So that was cool, but just not really my cup of tea, so to speak. And let's see, I'm trying to think of some lesser known or not so good uh, found footage films. Um, those are my probably my two least favorite was VHS and what was the other one I was just talking about? Oh, Grave Encounters. So I'm just gonna go through just random ones. Obviously, we all know Paranormal Activity, that just blew up the found footage scene. And I feel like they're still making them, and it's like, okay, guys, this is just a cash grab now, because the later they go, it gets like, oh, I don't. This is turning into something else, and I don't necessarily love it. But anyways, so obviously everybody knows Paranormal Activity. Blair Witch Project, yeah, that's one of my favorites. One of my favorites, especially the first one, because I mean, everyone thought it was real. They're like, wow, I can't believe they got all this footage. um, and actually, interesting story about that. I was watching the Blair Witch Project on Halloween night, and it was almost midnight. I was watching with my buddy, and in like a scary scene, I can't remember where they were. Might have been the night that they were in the tents and they were hearing stuff. But we're watching this Halloween night. It's about midnight, and the power just goes out during that scene, that creepy scene. We're just like, dude, did that just happen? I don't know. I thought that was a little creepy little story, but I may not have executed it very well. Anyways, let's keep going here. Um, Another good found footage that I liked, but I'm not sure if it's super popular. Quarantine. It's got wow, I can never remember her name. It's a pretty easy name, but it's got if you watch the serial killer show Dexter, it's his sister. She's also in The Exorcism of Emily Rose, which actually is another found footage type, sort of type film. Um, but yeah, no, Quarantine is really good and really scary, I think, and like brutal. That's just terrifying, and being like trapped somewhere where like you don't know what's gonna happen and it's dark. But yeah, no, it's Quarantine. I definitely recommend. Um, let's go into the Taking of Deborah Logan. Oh, is it Deborah Logan? I hope I said that right. um, I really hope I said that right. But if I didn't, people should know this movie. Um, it's a slower burn, but once it hits, like you're just like, oh, that is so creepy. One scene in particular that maybe don't want to go into too much detail with, but let's just say someone's trying to eat somebody alive. Oof. Now that just does it for me enough. It's just it's creepy and it builds up so nicely. I really enjoyed it. Let's keep going. I'm just kind of I'm losing my train of thought with the films here, but I'll just jump into The House That October Built. There's two of these, and they're both pretty intriguing because there's this group of people that are going. They want to see the scariest like um, Halloween haunts, horror houses, and they get a little bit more than they had bargained for. So I mean, it's a slower feel. It doesn't feel. It feels more like documentary style, as opposed to just just the camera filming it the whole time. But those are pretty good. I watch those pretty much every year around Halloween. And one of my favorites, Hell House LLC 1 through 3, and they're also working on a new one. I don't know that it is connected to these ones, but I haven't heard a whole lot about it. But I think it's coming out fairly soon. But Hell House is a cool little flick that I just love it. I love the continuity with all three of the films. So basically, in the first one, this group of they make haunted house attractions, and I guess they move around. They were doing it in New York or whatever, and then they found this house, or the main guy did. I'm not going to give too much away in case you haven't seen it. And they get this house that's like old and like decrepit and all that shit. And they deck it out and make it a horror house, blah blah blah. And it's like weird, some weird stuff's going on in there. And then on the night of the opening night, stuff just goes down. They don't even know exactly what happened. Everyone's trying to say, oh, it's just a electronic malfunction, when it's highly unlikely that that's the case. So basically, it just kind of, I think it goes through a reporter like digging into trying to figure out what's going on there in the first one, and then the second one, it's like characters from the end of the first one, and it kind of continues along the storyline, and then you kind of get more background with the story, and you figuring out more things about what's going on in the house, who is maybe doing stuff to them, and then the third one just kind of sort of concludes it, but not really. But I'm not going through all these films in detail, so I'm just kind of sweeping through. But What other found footage films should I think of here? I really should have written this down, but I just kind of wanted to wing it. But I think I gave you some pretty decent horror flicks to if you want to check out the found footage stuff. Yeah, that's my review for today. I hope this was informational and gave you something to think about. Maybe if you want, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give me some likes, comments, whatever. I'll definitely be doing this again soon. Let me know how I'm doing because I'm still super new with this YouTube stuff and I'm not super tech savvy. So yeah, but have a great rest of your day, morning or night, wherever you're at. See you later, guys.